Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on Down to Earth, and hope you appreciated what I showed you before this clip where I was plucking out all the weeds really easily. Um, it's just to show you how much work you need to do in the Back to Eden garden, which is not much because the weeds just pull up so easily, and I just wanted to share that. Um, it's only been less than 2 months since I've put all this wood chips down, and I'm starting to see the benefits already. So yeah, if you haven't done this, you should give it a go because it's a really great method. And anyways, today I'm going to show you my garden again for the early May update garden. I have a few things which are new, as well as the older things which are from the previous update. Well, they have all grown really well and really fast, so it's time for another harvest as well. So we'll see if we can get that into the video as well. But without further ado, here's the update. Okay, so here's the garden and how it looks like. Well, the first section. So here's the spinach. It's doing really well now, and I'm gonna harvest quite a few leaves from these guys. I think there's one or two which are starting to bolt, so I might just pull the whole plant up, and I need to thin this row anyways. So yeah, some of these plants are coming out, as well as this row. It's getting really crowded, especially in the center where the leaves are getting quite big. My hand is here for scale. It's quite an average hand. Yep, so I'm not gonna pull up any of these plants just yet. Or well, I'm not planning to, at least. I'm just gonna harvest the outer leaves and in a cut and come again style along this whole row. And the lettuce looking healthy as well. These two are the ones which I transplanted out from modules, and as you can see, the direct seeded seeds are really starting to catch up, and they're approximately 3 to 4 weeks behind these guys in terms of planting date. So I think direct seeding is the way to go, and it's much less of a hassle too. I don't have to deal with so much grow lights and all that. So next time around, it's all gonna be direct seeded. Take note if you're thinking about starting them early, unless of course you want some early greens in the winter before spring actually starts. But other than that, like your other successions, just do it in the ground. If you remember the kale, the dinosaur kale, were eaten to stumps by something, and so I put this yogurt pot over them to kind of deter away any of the creatures that are eating these guys. Yeah, so they seem to be bouncing back nicely. Somehow they found the energy to put out new leaves. But compared to the scarlet curly kale, the red ones, they're really small. But that's a given because they were eaten to stumps while these guys weren't. And the color here is really vibrant, really nice, looking really delicious. I mean, yeah, looking good. Actually looking like kale plants now. So I'm really excited to try these soon. Probably not today. I'll leave the leaves on these plants because I think it's better to let them grow bigger so that they have more energy to grow faster. The garlic are doing really well. The whole row is up now. If you remember, 21 cloves were planted and the last one just popped through the mulch, so that makes it 100% germination, which is pretty amazing. The garlic is growing really tall now. I mean, my hand is here and it's pretty tall. 4 leaves on most of them, the ones that came out first at least, like the late guys are just starting to grow their second leaves. And yeah, okay. And if you remember, the first 6 or 7 cloves of garlic were the really big ones, the biggest ones I could find. And the rest of the row were planted more densely, and they were the smaller cloves of garlic. And even right from the beginning, we can see that the leaves from the bigger cloves are way longer, way wider, meaning that they have the largest surface area for photosynthesis to occur, meaning they have more energy to put into the growth and the eventual bulb. So I think this proves that, if you plant bigger cloves, you get better plants. And yeah, it's really dense in here right now, because I'm planning to take some of these guys out soon to use in my cooking as green garlic. My pak choi is doing really well. If you remember, these guys were barely the size of my hand when I first put them in the garden, but now a single leaf is the size of my hand. So they're growing really well, and it's time to harvest them soon. I know they can get a lot bigger, but I have 2 more over there, so this guy's gonna come out really soon, probably today. I'm not sure yet, I'll decide later. And moving on, the onions seem to be living, not doing much, but that's what the pak choi did for the first 2 weeks after transplanting, so they still have time. And yeah, so the other row over there here is still just doing the same thing. And these guys, do you recognize them? They are the small pepper and basil plants that started a few weeks back. They're doing really well now, and it's time to prune them soon. Just cut the tips off, leave 5 or 6 leaves below, and then they'll branch out from the side stems. I also started some tomato plants. This is the black opal cherry and the Roma tomato, the Amish paste tomato, sorry. And yeah, if you're wondering why I'm starting them so late, is because I'm actually not going to be here in school for the summer, so I don't want any tomatoes to be forming so early where I can't harvest them, and then they'll fall and rot on the ground and cause a lot of mess while I'm not around. So I want them to ripen just about when I'm coming back to school, so none is wasted and there's no rotting mess when I come back. The leeks are going strong and steady. I think they're growing the 3rd leaves now, which is pretty good. I'm planning to put them in the ground really, really soon. But yeah, this is how they look like. And so for the new additions, you might have noticed something, which is that the garden used to stop here where the garlic are, but now I have this section, and what I have in this rectangle is I have some strawberries. I just put in some crowns, some bare rooted strawberries, and they're starting to sprout some leaves. So yeah, that's what they are. I'm not really looking forward for any fruit this year, nor do I want to force them to produce any. So if they have any flowers, I'll just pluck them off, because I want them to focus on getting strong after the shock of transport and everything. I mean, some of these roots, I don't think they're gonna make it. Yeah, some of them, the mortality rate is pretty not too bad. I think I have 2 or 3 out of 10 which didn't make it. So I'll have quite a number of strawberry plants. And this guy over here, this mound of wood chips, which are pretty high and reinforced by random pieces of concrete, wood and rock, it's sort of like a makeshift raised bed, is my potato patch. I put potatoes underneath here, piled it up high with wood chips, and I'm just waiting for them to come up through the surface. I'm actually in the midst of making a potato growing guide on like how to put the potatoes in the ground and make this sort of construct over here. And I want to include a shot where the potatoes are actually coming out to make the video more interesting rather than just looking at this at the end of the video. So yeah, just be on the lookout for the next video, because that's probably going to be the one where the potatoes are really coming out, and yeah, exciting stuff. I have a few onions here which have not been planted out yet, and as you can see, compared to these guys, they've grown. That's because they didn't have the transplant shock. Well, that's my hypothesis anyways. Yeah, that's about it for the whole garden. The last section ish is all topped up and it's gonna be ready for these guys to be planted out, the warm weather guys to be planted out in, I don't know, soon. I've got exams coming up soon, so I don't know when I'm gonna have to do this by, or if I ever get to do it before exams. One last look, the borage and the fennel. I kind of forgotten about these guys, but they seem to be doing well in the small pots. Yeah, I should plant them out soon too. But that's it for the update, the early May update for this whole garden. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Bye.